Welcome back. The National Statistics Agency, or the NSA, is gearing up for the 2025-26 Namibia Household Income and Expenditure Survey. This will be the fifth survey of its kind and is a key effort to collect important data on Namibia's income and spending patterns. The information gathered will help calculate crucial poverty and inequality indicators. And joining me this morning in studios, Dr. Paulina Ingo, the manager of the upcoming survey. Very good morning to you, Doc, and thank you so much for making time to join us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Much obliged. First and foremost, let's start off with the basics, the importance of this survey. What is the significance of conducting it now?
Okay, thank you so much. The significance of conducting the survey now is simply because this is the only survey that collects information on income and expenditures of the households of the people of Namibia. And for this phase, it's important that we do a testing phase, a testing exercise, which will then inform the main survey, which is slated for next year. So we want to collect this information to test our methodology, to test our survey tools, to test our logistics so that we can improve for the main survey.
All right. So you'll obviously be having enumerators or interviewers going around in the regions that we will be talking about. But before that, let's talk about the information that will be required. So I'm at home, the people come to my house. What type of questions will they be asking me?
Okay, so the interviewers will be asking questions, for example, on the income of the people, income of the household, how much do people earn. They will also be asking a lot of questions in terms of their health, in terms of the wealth, in terms of the labor. So all these informations are going to be part of the survey.
Okay.
Information on income, for example, is quite sensitive, but it's quite important that this information is provided because we will use this information at the end of the day, or the government will use the information to plan for future development of the people of Namibia.
Absolutely. I think an interesting point would be that, let's take, for example, we live in the rural areas. When people say this person is poor, but you go there, this person has over 100 heads of cattle, over 300 sheep. How does this survey quantify that? He may not have a TV, he may not have a brick structure, but when you look at what he has in terms of livestock, he is wealthy. So how do we measure that? How do we work around that to also quantify that, say, well, this person may not be living according to the standards that are considered as very wealthy, but he or she has a certain amount of wealth in the form of land, in the form of livestock.
Okay. First of all, maybe I must start how the selection is done.
Yes.
Of those that get to participate in the survey. The selection is a random selection, which then provides every person or every household an equal chance of being selected to participate. You will find that those that seems to be wealthy in specific areas, they could be wealthy, but the neighborhood is not wealthy. So because the sample is random, we use this selection to assume that the neighbor is also having the same characteristics. So it's same with the planning, will go accordingly. The government will assume in that specific area there are poor people because the person who was selected is probably not having bread, or if the person is as wealthy as you are saying, then the government will assume that, okay, in this area at least there are middle income people or high income people or low income people.
There will be a few regions that you'll be covering for this pilot phase, which is the Erongo, Artap, Kavango West, Homas, Konene, Omaheke, Musati, and Zambezi region. Is there a reason why these regions were selected to form part of this pilot survey? What is it about them that stood out? Or
Okay, so we for the testing phase, we have these selected regions because we want to make sure that we have tested a varieties of characteristics or dynamics. We, for example, looked at those areas like in Khomas, the most affluent areas in Luderesdorf. We looked at also Erongo, the most affluent area in Erongo, and then you have other areas like in Omaheke. You want to look at the commercial farms there, because you want to see also these areas that don't have network, for example, or have networks, because in this survey we are also using modern technology, which we are capturing the data, and then we are also then transmitting. It's real-time data, transmitting to head office. So we want to test now. Comes to the main survey, will we be able to use those modern technology and transmit our data efficiently? And then you also have, you want to test the fast growing areas in terms of informal settlements. In some areas we have also selected those. So the selection was really based on a variety of things to try and capture those and see if we can then get a fair picture of how we can improve for the main survey going forward.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, somebody might be watching this and wondering to themselves, okay, so you've collected this data. What now? Is it going to improve my livelihood? Is it going to have any impact on my life? Talk to us about that.
Of course, statistics is very crucial for planning. Statistics is needed in all the developmental planning. You need statistics wherever you go. You need statistics. So we will, the government will. NSA, for example, does not necessarily collect statistics for its own, but we collect statistics for the government to plan with the statistics. Government to plan on the services which should be provided to the people of Namibia. So, and this specific survey also then collects information on the living of the people to ensure that which people are poor, which ones are severely poor or somehow poor. So this will really inform the planning of the government.
So at the end of the day, when you draw up a budget, it's not a one-size-fits-all, because now you have the data that informs the challenges that are being faced in the various regions as well. The public obviously plays a major role in making this pilot phase, and of course also going forward the main survey next year a success. What role can we play as members of the public to ensure that indeed the data is collected appropriately, and also just that reassurance? You touched a bit on how we are a bit cagey about income, and we don't want to really come out and share. But what assurance can we have that, look, this data that I'm sharing, this information that I consider is very sensitive, will also be kept anonymous and will not be leaked out to the general public?
No, for sure. First of all, the NSA is mandated through the Statistics Act number 9 of 2011, which then allows the NSA to collect information or statistic from the people of Namibia, and also subscribes the NSA to the confidentiality and privacy of information collected from the respondents. So all the people that are employed or recruited by the NSA, including the data collectors, the field staff, are also then they are prescribing to the privacy and the confidentiality of the act. So before they went in the field, they were sworn in Chiwarongo on Friday, when they just completed the training of the field staff. So they were sworn in just to make sure that they will adhere to this as they go out there and collect the data. And also, we just also want to ensure that the public cooperate and provide support to the field staff when they come to the household asking for this information. It's important that accurate information is provided. I have mentioned earlier about the income being very sensitive, but the household just need to make sure that these people are genuine. There are mechanisms in place that are put there to verify, to make sure that this is a genuine field staff which is sent by the NSA.
That was just going to bring me to my last question. And we also know that with exercise of this nature, there are also opportunists who want to also profit in whatever way they can. I'm talking about the criminals. What should we look out for in terms of the genuineness of the people who are really representing the NSA, and not just some individual who wants to see an opportunity about, hey, this guy owns this this type of TV. I think we'll be visiting this house a bit later tonight.
I know, right? Okay, so our field staff, they will be dressed in bibs, reflective bibs, which are branded with the NSA logo, and they will also carry with them an identification card, which is branded with the NSA logo, and they will also carry a letter of authorization from the NSA, which also have a contact number where household members can actually call that contact number just to verify that this is really a genuine person. And then there is also another way for verifying. One can go in our website and enter the national ID of that field staff, just to make sure that it's a correct ID. They will also have their own identification ID cards, and on the identification card of NSA, there is the national ID number there, for which then people can use to verify.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right, Dr. Ingo, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for bringing us up to speed, and we wish you and the rest of the team all the best in making this pilot survey a success.
Thank you so much.
All right, brilliant. All right, that was Dr. Paulina Ingo, the manager of the National Statistics Agency's Namibia Household Income and Expenditure Survey, which will be taking place, was actually started today, and will run up to the 20th of October. It is a testing survey just to see if everything is good to go for the big survey that will be carried out next year in 2025.